I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs blown. I'm gonna turn all of my stones.
Rock bottom make the man and some pressure make a gemstone. Try to put $1 to my name like Creflo. Not the boy, late to the game, it's in the blood flow. And I'm from the south, it's thick skin and tough bone. Big attitude through big lips with gusto. Trust no kings, that's why they tried to crush souls. But it's IGBO, when the dust blow, this old head be standing there. No silver, just gold. Crack no books on the hustle, I was born to grind. Yo, I'm scared of your potential, I'm adorned with mine. 30 times around the sun, man, of course I shine. My legacy will not dwarf with time. And in my daughter's eyes, it's basic, I must not say quit. Every day sees a present like a Rob St. Nick. Walk a fine line between tenacious and patient. I can't slip, I'm fighting clocks and they can't win.
I've got bruised souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs flow. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. I've got bruised souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Who that soldier in the mirror, oh oh. I'm gonna turn all of my stones.
Impeccably I flow, hardest raps you know. Breaking status quo, reaping what I sow. Artistry like Django, get it from my mama hip. So take that, I need tempo. Personality, spicy body banging like a bongo. Cause black women been it since Timbuktu, since Pharaoh. Sponge rollers and hot combs, lips, cheeks and brow bones. If you ain't for the culture, then please stay out of my zone. These little dummy rappers could never grace my headphones. See, I'm from a place in space where ain't no storytelling, you just had to have been there. If you want the battle, ain't no problem, say where. I got so much experience, I can't even play fair. But I'ma keep evolving and growing and hurting feelings and showing. You need endurance to go in, I got mileage on this pen. I've been busy cause I've been out here schooling all these kids. Took 3 decades to have this glow up that I did.
I've got bruised souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs flow. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. I've got bruised souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Who that soldier in the mirror, oh oh. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. Turn all of my
Let's watch.
Don't get me back to good bullshit.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here, coming at you with another raw narrative. And happy Monday to everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I see Dawn Emery. Good to see you, Dawn and Mama. Good to see you, Panda Bear's mom. Thank you for being here. Also, I see Town Chat Cafe. Thank you for being here, Town Chat Cafe. It looks like you're busy, kind of too. I know it's a busy Monday, guys, and I appreciate everybody being here as well. I also see Kiki. Good to see you, Kiki. Thanks for being here. And Don Emery, thank you for being here. And prayers for Devlin and his bio mom. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you keeping Devlin at the forefront because he's still missing. And that case is, there's a lot of very bothersome details in the case. Very bothersome details in the case. Hey, KJ Mack, good to see you. Lisa King, good to see you. And I'm working on a video for Devlin in order to kind of put some timeline details in. Lisa King, good to see you. So I've been doing a lot of research on that as well and just looking through and familiarizing myself with the events of what happened and things like that. What's the matter? Oh, I have Django crying over here. What's the matter? What? So, oh, I think there's something. All right, hold on a second. Hold on a second, buddy. Um, we need prayers for Devlin and his bio mom. There's a lot to that, guys. The reason why I don't want to speak on the relationship, um, how it came to be or anything like that is because I don't have all of the details. Hey, Jude, good to see ya. Thanks for being here. And I just want to make sure that we portray the story correctly because even though I can fix it in a later episode, if I knowingly put out information and just kind of wing it and kind of say, well, yeah, I know about this, I know about it, and I tell you guys, somebody down the line could watch just one live and think that that information is correct. There's no way to police or control all of that. No way in hell. And I do not spend my time trying to do that. But what I try to do is be proactive in the beginning and always get receipts. So if I say, you know, very strongly on a subject, but maybe the source doesn't want me to show the exact receipt, right? I could at least say that I think strongly, in my opinion, that this is true, right? Because of the receipts. And I do show a lot of receipts here because I think if there's no receipts, then there's no proof of it happening. So I have a lot of those dead ends in Devlin Tate's story in his case. And let me put up Panda Bear's mom made this, and so I'll put this up. But you know, in the meantime, I've been just trying to piece everything together because it's difficult in the beginning, and especially if we talk to family members, right, and we get to know them, or we think that what they're saying is true. Sometimes it's not, or sometimes it is, or sometimes there's half truths in it. So I'm trying to be very careful. Um, in the Sebastian Rogers case, I've used Chris and Katie's interviews as a starting point, and we've watched news clips, and then we also uh, have gone over kind of what the mainstream media police have said in the case, and that's where we've studied Sebastian's case. I always like to show you what I'm talking about or why I think a certain thing is true. And in that case, we do have Chris and Katie coming out a lot. Devlin's case is different. They are not coming out a whole lot. And what they've told the news outlets and what I've come to find was that they told the news something completely different than they were telling Mr. and Mrs. E and J, because they were telling Mr. and Mrs. E and J that the reason why, from Crime Time Buzz, excuse me, that the reason why Devlin was out and about is because he just loved to walk. He just loved to just walk around town all day long, and it's great. But he wasn't helping around the house, and so we cut the electric off from him. And they weren't saying that to the news because they knew probably that people might get a little upset with that. But I also think that they're not as comfortable when they're on the news than they are if they call into a show or if they are in the chat talking, right? And so, with that being said, um, I just don't feel like we have a case where Devlin ran away. If he did run away, he had a good reason to run away, but then again, he also had routines, right? And it's totally new for me to hear that somebody would cut someone off from the electric, because I think that would be extremely, again, hard to police and control. And also, I don't see the lesson to be learned. Dawn Emery says that is so sad and cruel. I think so too. I think so too. And when people are giving you that type of information and they are on your panel, it's not the time to jump their shit, right? It's not the time to say, you're lying. Oh my God, I can't believe you did that to him. No, that is the time to say, oh, you don't say. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Right? That's the time that you do that. And then what happens later, which is wonderful that we have this platform, is that other people can look at that and say, "Oh shit, something's wrong here," and they can review it, and then it can be revisited, or whatever the original host or whoever spoke with that person uh would like to do with that information. But if it was me and somebody told me that on my panel unexpectedly, I would say, "Oh, you don't say. Okay. All right. Yeah." And I would go with it, right? Just like I would any type of information that the people are giving me, because once they're feeling comfortable and they're talking, that's the time for you to shut up as the interviewer and let them talk, right? You just kind of, let them know that you're actively listening, so to speak. So, I think that's important. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. I was just taking care of a little bit of housekeeping here behind the scenes. Very good. Very good. So he is adorable. Hey, Jude. He is so cute, right? And a phone doesn't take up a lot of, well, and I think it's the cutting off of a resource. Kiki says a phone does not take hardly any electricity. That is crazy. Well, and you can't really say like how much electricity a person uses within a household. So, like, I'm thinking, okay, Devlin has turned 18, right? And he was about to turn 19 before he went missing. So just to put it into perspective, this is not a little kid. It's not, it's a legal adult that we're talking about. Devlin is a legal adult, but it's a situation where he does have a rare chromosome deletion, right? He has autism, he has Tourette's, he has ADHD, so he also has cerebral palsy, according to his family. So he has a multitude of issues that he's dealing with um, in order to survive in this world, right? Hey, Holly S., good to see you. Welcome in, everyone. Hey, YouTuber is here. KJ Max says, Panda, that's awful. Yeah, and I know that there's a lot of horrible things that were it's alleged that were being done, right? To Devlin, to Devlin. And I'm trying to kind of piece it all together, right? And do research. And people also send me things, which is great. And that's another thing that's really important. If you're going to say something, you have to have something to support, supporting evidence, something to back it up. And so, I try very hard to at least be proactive about putting that information out. So that's why I've really haven't done a follow up video, but I've been working on one, right? Because um, I think it's important to kind of get all of the facts out there in order for us to make the best inference or for our speculations to be running in the right direction instead of the wrong direction. That's what's hard about this, right? Because we can really get emotional about a case. I'm very emotional about Sebastian Rogers' case. I mean, more so than I ever thought I would be, right? Oh, hey, Jude. I can't believe you've been a member for 9 months. Hey, Jude, we just had a baby. What is up? We just had a dragon baby, me and Hey Jude. Did you guys hear that? Um, breaking news, breaking news. Aw, hey, Jude, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. You're the best. So and Hey Jude is awesome, guys. You guys just don't even know what Jude does, helping me research behind the scenes and really just being an awesome friend. I don't know. I'm gonna cry now because we just had a baby and I'm really emotional. Hey Jude, that's hilarious. Okay, so but no, it's very difficult. As a matter of fact, for a while, even before I started going live, there was someone who had sent me an email, and it was a friend of mine from Canada. And they sent me this email, and they were talking about how we can do harm as social media presences, personalities, whatever we are, YouTubists, I guess that's what Seth calls us, YouTubists, and we could, have a positive impact or we can have a negative impact. And going into people's real true lives, right, and trying to dig and understand deeper, can cause damage that we're not intending on causing, but it's something to think about. And I think it's very important. Again, this conversation is coming up in Canada, and it's about that very subject, um, whether the information that's put out is good or bad, false or true. It's having an impact on people because social media is so much more widely watched and trusted than the mainstream media. But I have to tell you, the mainstream media has their hands tied, and we don't. I mean, I don't work for anyone but YouTube and myself. And so I come up here and I can say whatever I want. Those people are paid by a news network and they can't just say whatever they want, right? And they're fact checking and things like that. They need to put it more delicately and everything else. So it's an interesting subject to think about and to discuss, even between creators. I think it's a great that would be a great live discussion. Hey, Astrology for Mystics with Jen, good to see you. Thank you for being here. So I think that, because even Lily and Jack's nice grandma, Belinda, she recently came out and I shared it on my community posts about that very subject. And she said, I don't give a damn what anybody's saying online. Just keep, you know, Jack and Lily's name out there. Please don't stop talking about these babies. They're missing. And they are, 4 and 6 years old. They're babies. I mean, people say, bring that baby home. Well, these ones are really little, tiny little kids we're dealing with, right? 6-year-old Lily and her little brother Jack, missing in Nova Scotia, Canada. Cadaver dogs have been deployed. Lisa King, good to see you. They made his struggle in his life so much more unbearable. Were cruel to him. I agree with that, Lisa King. That was one major detail that I cannot overlook in Devlin's case, and I will never say it's okay. Right? It's okay to cut the power off. Like, even if we were all roommates, and I think I didn't finish my thought earlier, Lisa, so thank you for your comment, because it does jog my memory. Even if, say there was 4 of us living in a household, right? We cannot say that, hey, Lady Freedom, you have to pay your portion of the electric No, we would just split it all equally. Whatever the bill was, say it was $200, there's four of us, $50 a piece, right? That's just how we would do it. We wouldn't say, well, Lady Freedom, you use up more of the electricity. No, that's not fair. That's not how life is, right? That's not how it would be if it was, you're not teaching this young man life skills. You're saying that some people are going to be shady and they're going to bully you around, is what you're teaching that young man. Excuse me. Hey Jude, thank you so much for your $2 super sticker or super chat. She says, I was gonna say baby, but it's weird. I don't care. I thought it was hilarious because I was like 9 months. Oh, that's hilarious. I love you. Hey Jude. Brenda Calvert says hello. Thank you so much for being here, Brenda. Lady Freedom. Hey Jude. Congratulations on the baby. You too. YouTuber is here. She gets it. You get it. It's like it's just surprising too. The 9 months. Like, I don't know. I just don't think it doesn't feel like I've been going live that long. It feels like I haven't been on here that long, I guess. So it's crazy that people have already been a member of the channel for 9 months. Plus, I just love Hey Jude. So the nice grandma. I don't know what to call Belinda besides Belinda, but she's such a nice grandma. She's always like well dressed and nice and classy. I like her. I really do. Junkyard Janie, on the other hand, free boobing it in interviews, can't be bothered to put a bra on. And they came to her house. I mean, it's not like she even had to go anywhere, but she just comes flying out the trailer. She's got hoses and wires coming out of everywhere, holes in the window. She doesn't give a shit. She's like the nasty ass honey badger. And then she's given us this fairy story about, come on, Jackie, come on. And it's like, we've heard Lily scream before. That little girl, if somebody came up and just grabbed those two, for one, Lily would have screamed her head off. And good for her. You got to have either, the ability to defend yourself in this life or something. They don't give people those, rape whistles for nothing. It's so they could alert someone and Lily had one built in. She was just screaming at the top of her lungs, and she would have, I think. And I also think you would have heard her say, kick them, Jackie, kick them, or kick them, hit them, bite them, whatever. And those kids would have fought away if like a person just come up and grabbed them. So I don't think that that's what happened at all. Were you the first member ever? Hey Jude. Aw, that is so awesome. See? They don't give us the best analytics when it comes to that, like who supported the channel the longest and things like that. I really wish they would and make it more personal because I think that's so important, like just to know that. It's cool, you know? Junkyard Tamra. Well, yeah, I mean, and we're as we learn more about people's personalities, we can put the story together better. We just can. Um, Oh, really? More than half the power bill, Miss Ann says. My youngest sister made my dad pay more than half. Well, and see, that's not fair. That's not how it would work. Like, even if you were just to have a roommate or any situation in life, it's supposed to be a win-win, where everybody's okay with it. Everybody pays their portion of the rent. Everyone pays their, nobody eats up everybody else's food and doesn't contribute there. When you live with others, you need to contribute something to what's going on in the household. But they just cut him off. I don't see how they could have policed it. Teeth and bras, ladies. Hey, Jude. I mean, I don't care if people don't wear makeup and whatnot, or if they're not like, I'm not saying she should have came out like a beauty queen, it's not a pageant, but it's definitely, odd, like I said, she just comes out free boobing and it doesn't matter. And she's given this story and, and the kids, the environment is very unsuitable and unsafe for her to live in as an adult even, but for the kids, and she doesn't understand it. And also she's opening that door and getting in the reporter's face like, see, she's looking at the cameraman, see what I mean? And everyone can hear it rolling on the track. And I swear she put WD-40 on that thing. And she was more She was more interested in what, how the turnout was going to be than the reporter and the cameraman, right? Because she was the one that was trying to convince them. So she's saying, look, you see, and nobody understood it. And then she's like, oh, their room is over all the way down over there, and it's right there. I mean, the window's right there. Timu, she could get a Timu bra. But it's night and day. And then you see Belinda, and Belinda's very nicely dressed, right? She is. I mean, people are just people. We're just gonna observe and report what we observe. And again, on YouTube, we have more liberties that we can say, did you notice Janie didn't have a bra? Whereas the reporter can't just be like, ma'am, would you like to put a bra on? We are shooting this and everyone's gonna see it. But then again, something tells me, when you're dealing with someone like Janie, again, aggressive, you're almost afraid to say anything. You're like, we'll just let her do her thing, right? She'll let her do her thing because she's gonna do it anyway. Um, yeah, yeah, it doesn't sit right with me either, Jen. Jen says, don't mean to offend, but I say that Devlin's case gives me the heebie-jeebies. Yeah, yeah, it does me too. It's just so odd. We can't get confirmation on a lot of this stuff, which is very unsettling in and of itself, It really is. Panda says that it hasn't set right with me since day one. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we need to get some likes on there, guys. Let's get some likes. Thanks, St. Jude. But yeah, today what I want to do is I want to talk about this endangered child alert update that Eric Craddock put out, right? And this is on February 27th, 2024. And I didn't have a big long show for us today, but because I was running a little bit late, I went over and I watched Hindsight. Um, and BMW Coupe and Trent on their live last night on a replay after my show because I had no time to go over there. I knew about it and I felt really, really bad. I did share it out. So I hope you guys were over there. It was a great live, did some comparisons of interviews. And I think that is so important at this juncture for all of us to do that. And, even on panels, it should be being discussed on panels. Look, Chris told us this was going to be a case that would be studied and discussed. So let's study it. Let's discuss it. I think we need to, you know. I think we need to. Hey, Broken Branch, good to see you. Hey, Trent, good to see you. Thanks for being here. You guys did a great job. I'm always very impressed, and I always love to be in the live, or not in the, not on the panel, but like in the chat, and I always get bummed out when I can't be. But I loved watching you guys. Do your thing, in the comparisons, and the attention to detail is always there. And it's important for us to recognize those things, especially when we look back. It's going to be completely different. The perspective is going to be different. We'll never get that time back, unfortunately, for evidence to be collected as it should have been. And, in my opinion, interrogations to be done, interviews to be done, the gathering of information, very, very, very lazy, very, very sloppy, in my opinion. Right? Too friendly, also. Hey, Carla, good to see you. So, with that, I want to go back to what Sheriff Craddock has to say for himself on here. So, just bear with me. Give me 1 second. I know, I'll move it out of the way. There's something in his way that he doesn't like. If there's something that he doesn't like where he can't get to the next room, he won't go past it, guys. So if you hear Django crying, that's why. Um, he's having a rough day. All right, so let me go ahead and share the screen. It's Monday, right? It's Monday. Everybody has a rough one on a Monday. All right, here's Craddock, and look at his face. It's hilarious. Okay, I didn't do that. That was I did not do this. This is where he was, look at him. He does not look happy. I don't know. He's an oddball, this one. All right, here we go. Here's our buddy.
Update on the search at this point. How does it compare to yesterday?
Today is what I'll describe as a redundant search. We have mapped out more search grids, sent responders out to specific grids. They search that area, they clear it, they come back, they get another search grid, and they go back out. Yesterday, we, for lack of a better term, we threw everything that we possibly could throw at this. I'll show you a picture of the map in just a moment. We absolutely obliterated covering the area where Sebastian could have walked off to. Obviously, there's a litany of things that could have happened to Sebastian, and none of them we can presume are credible or validate yet. So we're doing everything we can. Every lead that we get, we're following. If someone calls and says, hey, I think we saw him by the pond, we're going to the pond and checking. Nothing's off the table at this point.
Okay, guys, I just want to stop right there. So I think he just said we obliterated the search area. I'm going to rewind that part.
There's a litany of things that could have happened to Sebastian, and none of them we can presume are credible or validate yet. So we're doing everything we can. Every lead that we get, we're following. If someone calls and says, hey, I think we saw him by the pond, we're going to the pond and checking. Nothing's off the table at this point.
Okay, and I guess the priority has it moved from a 2-perimeter search, right, 2 mile perimeter, to now how wider?
We're at about 5 mile width right now. We keep, as we clear the areas, we keep expanding. We do get calls and tips from time to time, and we take some of the teams we have here, respond to that area, and either corroborate or invalidate the tip.
Do not pay your next car insurance bill. Repeat, do not pay your next bill yet. So I found this website and
great. And we know that you guys
corroborate or invalidate the tip.
Okay, great. And we know that you guys earlier were saying that you're not discouraging the public from coming out. Is that still the same message now?
So right now we have enough first responders on the ground here that we can communicate with, that have the same training. They have the apps that we use to track, and there's a litany of reasons that it's important right now. There may come a time when we call on the public to come out and help us search, but right now we have plenty of first responders on scene. The best thing the public can do to help us is keep sharing it on social media. If you see something, say something, call the Sumner County Emergency Communication Center at 615-451-3838 and check your home surveillance video. Just check. If you see something, call us. We'll come out and look. I think that's going to be what breaks the case, is somebody's home surveillance video seeing something.
Okay. And at what point are people going to be coming out and invited to come out in those searches? I know a lot of people are itching to come out and help.
They absolutely are. Sumner County is the greatest place on earth. I truly believe that. We have the absolute greatest citizens here.
Sumner County, the greatest place on earth. Craddock loves to exaggerate, right? He loves exaggerating everything. He'll be like, we have world-renowned detectives in Middle Tennessee. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, that's an exaggeration. Even Google knows you exaggerated, right? I don't know how it's that intuitive. AI is creepy as fuck. And then he says it's the greatest place on earth, right? Like, okay. Compared to what? Right? Because there's this island in Italy, yo, and I'm like, want to be there. I wouldn't want to live there in Sumner County. It's probably the greatest place on earth if you control everything and everyone that lives there. Sure, maybe that's the appeal.
We also have the absolute greatest.
And invited to come out in those searches. I know a lot of people are itching to come out and help.
They absolutely are. Sumner County is the greatest place on earth. I truly believe that. We have the absolute greatest citizens here, but we also have the best law enforcement relationships in the county. We've got people from across the state here, the TBI, Tennessee Highway Patrol, Hendersonville's here, Gallatin sent people. We have plenty of first responders. So my urge to the public right now would be to check your home videos and stay rested, because when the call comes, we'll put it out on social media, and that's when we'll need you to come.
Okay. And then did you want to speak as well before we continue? Okay, I'm going to get you mic'd up.
Go ahead. In the meantime, is when you approach this search, is it different looking for a child than an adult?
It's definitely different looking for a child with autism. Yesterday, we consulted with someone in the first responder world who does emergency management, who also has children who are autistic, and she kind of laid it out for us, some things that I didn't understand or comprehend at first. She gave us a lot of tips and tricks. So we've had several calls from people with autistic relatives that have told us, hey, have you thought about this? And listen, there's nothing off the table. I don't care how crazy it sounds. If it's going to help me find Sebastian and get him home safe to his family, I'm going to do it.
And what are some of those considerations that go into looking for a child with autism?
Some of the things that he likes, what he's familiar with. We know that Sebastian likes cats. We were told that his favorite song was Eye of the Tiger. We tried playing that to just kind of calm him and let him know we're here to help him. I'm sure that he could see what's going on here and be intimidated, but if he sees this newscast, I want him to know, Sebastian, come out. We're here to help you. We just want to get you home safe.
And at this point, have you guys ruled out any indication of foul play?
I won't say that we've ruled out any indication of foul play, but I will say that the family has been nothing but cooperative with us. Nothing but cooperative. There's no indication of foul play at the moment.
Okay. How have those tips been of people coming in and offering up any information? Have you guys had any leads or any information that you can kind of share with that?
We've had several tips. One of the tips was that he was sighted off of Newman's Trail off Long Hollow Pike. We actually, when we got that tip, we sent a team out. We made contact with who they thought was Sebastian, and it was not. Again, that's a great tip. It could have been. So if somebody sees something, call us. Let us know.
And do you guys know, I know you guys were checking shoes last night to see if he was barefoot. Is that still the case? Is he barefoot? Because I know on Facebook somebody posted a picture of these could be his shoes, or is that so he is presumed to be barefoot at this point?
What I can say is that his mom says all of his shoes are accounted for at the house. I'm not going to say that he's barefoot.
All right. And how's the family doing? Just to ask, I'm checking in with them.
Oh, I cannot imagine the struggle that the family is going through right now. I'm a dad. Director Widener's a dad. I don't know how they're handling it. I couldn't survive if something happened to my kids.
Managing all of this, what's been going through your guys' mind, just kind of juggling all of these people and having people come in from outside agencies as well? I mean, what's been going through your mind?
Well, I think Director Widener said it best. Every time we debrief and talk about what we've done, we're asking, what ideas do you guys have? Because, I think I'm a pretty good law enforcement officer, but I'm not the smartest guy in the room, and I know that. So if someone's got an idea, and we've had some pretty good ideas come up, and we're gonna try everything we can. So keeping an open mind and doing anything we can to find Sebastian.
And then I also am told that he might be on medications as well due to his being on the autistic spectrum. What is that kind of looking like, and is that kind of upping the danger of the situation?
It definitely increases the volatility of the situation. The medicine was there, obviously to treat his autism. So how he responds to that once the medicine is out of his system is really not my expertise, but I do know that it's going to have a negative effect on him. So it definitely is increasing.
And then as people approach him, if they see him, are they advised to move slowly or call you guys first? Or I guess what's the recommendation?
I would definitely say call us first. If you're close enough to talk to Sebastian, talk in a calm, slow voice. Let him know that you're not there to hurt him. You're there to help him. And hopefully you can build a rapport with him until we can get there and bring him back to his family.
And about how many agencies are helping with this search?
Oh, we've got at least 10 agencies here. Yesterday, and Director Widener.
And Ken Widener, KENWEIDNER, Director, Sumner County Emergency Management Agency. So yesterday we had multiple agencies. We had 220 searchers on the ground, and we bring them in and they go through operations and they get assigned a search area. So we're using a search program to track them, and they lay tracks from their cell devices, and we know where they're at, and they complete those search areas. They come back and they get reassigned, or we reassign them when they're in the field. So today we'll get a count on that, but I'd say we're over 150 searchers on the ground today, and multiple agencies, and THP helicopter, and I'm not sure what the chief went over, Metro's helicopter, TBI fixed wing, over 10 drones. We've got 12 K9 teams here, 8 mounted units yesterday, horses yesterday, and 10 here today. So we're covering as much ground as we can, and we keep expanding that search area. And we have pounded the area, the neighborhood that he went missing from, and the neighborhood adjacent, and we keep expanding that out.
And with the anticipation of the temperature dropping tomorrow and a chance for storms, is that going to change the search, or is it going to have any impact on his ability to survive?
We're concerned about the weather because we don't know exactly what he's dressed in, and we could have some flurries tomorrow. And the storm, so the wet, and you lose body temperature 30 times faster when you're wet than when you're dry in the air or in water. And so we're concerned about that, and the chance that we could have flurries tomorrow and those dropping temperatures. So we'll continue to work with drones and FLIR, and we've actually utilized tactical teams, SWAT teams, the county ERT, and night vision that our operators have, and they've been in the field for many hours at nighttime.
Yeah, that was my next question. How do you guys operate these searches at night? I know last night it got dark pretty soon, and it's going to get dark pretty soon here today again. How does those searches go in, and how do you keep those effective?
Yeah, flashlights, FLIR, and night vision. Yeah.
I'll say we do change our tactics based on the weather. So last night we did that. Not ready yet to describe exactly how we did that because we may have to apply that again tonight or tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And then at this point, what you were kind of talking about it earlier with the body kind of going to shock with these low temperatures. And you guys have originally said 2-mile perimeter just because that's as far as usually someone will walk. But are you expecting at this point he'll be tired, exhausted, sleeping? I mean, I guess what are you kind of estimating here?
Teenagers are resilient. We're really hoping he has enough clothes on to stay warm, and we think that when he gets fatigued, he should rest. And he doesn't apparently doesn't sleep a lot at night, and he's more active at night, and
Okay, so we're about to hear about how Sebastian's more active at night and he doesn't sleep at night. And they push that narrative too in the beginning. Guys, this is from February 27th, 2024. So Sebastian went missing the day before this, right? Or he was reported missing the day before this. And this is what Ken Widener, Emergency Management Agency, is saying. Agent is saying. And he just spoke over Eric Craddock, and someone told him to get his ass out there, I think, and intercept what Craddock was saying, in my opinion. And I'll rewind it back because he does cut Eric off a couple of times, as Hey Jude so eloquently pointed out. She said, "Did Ken talk over Snuggle?" Yeah, he did. And he also came out and mic'd up, and they wanted, so in order for him to talk, and he wasn't originally being questioned. It was just Craddock at first. So we can take that as we will. Trent says, does anyone know if Eric Craddock is related to an Alex Craddock of Hendersonville, Tennessee? It could explain why the strike and spare footage isn't out yet, just based on my opinions. Well, I've been wondering about that too, because I'm I'm still chomping at the bit, but I can be patient. But I'm wondering where it is because I would like to see it for a little bit of context and to build out a more proper timeline. Because if Katie only stayed there for 10 minutes, what time did she arrive? What time did she depart? Are my big ones. I think it's very important to understand what happened during their day. And to Trent, with what you all were talking about last night on your live, I think that the story has changed a lot of times, and then we also find out that there was a stop off at another person's house. So what leads us to believe that there wasn't other stops to other people's houses, and where was Katie during the day? It's just a major lapse of time, right? Because either she went from the strike and spare directly to the roadhouse, or they went to the strike and spare and then they went somewhere else and then to the roadhouse. So just trying to figure it out. And also, I'm not sure about the relation between Eric Craddock and Alex Craddock, but that's really interesting. And I saw that Hey Jude said, 1 minute, Trent, his father owned a hardware store in Madison. So he owned a hardware store in Madison. I think he also is related. and has affiliations. And the only reason I know this is through the Facebook page, that he was related to people who own different businesses in town. So I don't know how many businesses that there are, but I did notice connections, major connections there. Um, Trent says, YouTuber, it looks like to me that there is an Alex Craddock on the league there. He has highest average. Okay. Oh, cool. Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much for dropping that link. I want to check it out for sure. Very interesting, Trent. Thank you. Hey, Milky Way girl, and good to see everyone coming in. Hey, Sandwich. I also saw JH, Aloha JH. Hey, Trooper and Iris's mom. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming out of the bushes. Thank you so much. And thanks for hitting the like button, guys. Oh, fantastic. Oh, that's wonderful. Jen, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Kitty Catty. That's wonderful. Yeah, I'm in the middle of getting that all ironed out as well. So, I'm excited. I also heard something earlier too. I need to get with you, Jen, about that. Just so, hey, Kimberly says, look at the yellow coat and the man arrested at Casey's murder. The distraction who was arrested, Googling and keep scrolling. You never know. Okay, I'm not sure about the yellow jacket guy and the man arrested. Hmm. Very interesting. But I don't know. I'm thinking they didn't want Craddock out there talking. I don't think he is great with people, even though he does public speaking, and he did public speaking at the college not too long ago, Northwestern University. But here's Eric Craddock, and he's talking. I want to get him right before um, Ken chimes in.
Kind of estimate.
Teenagers are resilient. We're really hoping he has enough clothes on to stay warm, and we think that when he gets fatigued, he should rest. And he doesn't apparently doesn't sleep a lot at night, and he's more active at night, and is, probably sleeps a little more in the day. So we hope he's laying down and resting, and we just want to. We don't want him to outwalk the search, and the ground that he can cover on foot. We're working with that, and we're putting that in consideration when we create the areas that we search.
And then who's helping out with the aerial searches as well?
There's multiple agencies. TBI's helped, Metro Nashville's helped, Tennessee Highway Patrol's helped, our drone team, North Star has helped. Wilson County is going to come help with some aerial coverage. The Sumner County Emergency Management drone team has been phenomenal. There's really no limit. If there's a resource out there that can help us, we've called and we've asked for it.
Pretty much every county every agency in the county, and then counties from across the state, quite honestly. And with the plea, and I think I heard Chief talking about that earlier. We have a lot of people wanting to volunteer, and we are really looking to put trained personnel on the ground that are familiar with search and operations and have the ability to perform limited rescue operations. And we've got teams on standby if we have a rescue situation. And so there's a lot that goes into that, and we can track these personnel a lot easier. So.
Are divers still on scene as well? Do you know?
They're on standby.
They're on standby.
Is there anything else that you guys want to add that I missed?
Continue to share the social media page. If you see something, say something. Check your home surveillance video. Those are really the huge things that the public can do to help us right now find Sebastian.
So we had a child walk up, a lady walk up today with a child who's autistic. They're from Watertown, and the little boy wanted to tell us where he thought Sebastian could be, and he told me very forthright where he thought he would go if he were lost. That he would go towards creeks, and he would go behind buildings, and the different things that he would do. And he told his mom this morning that he wanted to come up here and tell us where he thought Sebastian might be.
If you live in a Florida, Georgia, or South Carolina zip code and have 0 DUIs in the last 5 years,
Whoopsie daisy. Okay, so yeah, that was the end of it. I didn't know it was going to stop that abruptly. So we have that, and then I also want to bring up the landfill search. So that was March 8th, 2024, that they're reporting on the landfill search. I have a video here to watch. But I wanted to kind of see what you all thought. Oh, sorry, let me make myself smaller here. I wanted to see what you guys thought about, what was said by Ken Widener, and he's the EMA director, right? And then you also have Sheriff Craddock, aka Snuggle Struggles, Snug Strugs, and he basically says that he doesn't believe that Sebastian walked off without any shoes. That's the clip that I play in the beginning of the live. But this is a little bit more in depth, and they're asking questions. Really looks like he went out there to save his butt, in my opinion. And Trooper's mom says that, that Ken Weiner is a good guy. And I think he is. I mean, he's been at it for a very, very long time. I think he said in a previous interview, like 43 years. So a very long time. Very seasoned, agent. I don't know what the emergency management does per se, but he was there every step of the way in the Sebastian Rogers case. And Astrology for Mystics with Jen says, notice he's saying Sebastian didn't have a regular sleep pattern. Right. Yeah, he says that Sebastian was more active at night. And I think that's so strange, I really do. I really do. Yeah, and I don't know about the if Julie did any type of a genealogy on him. I don't know. That would be crazy though. If she went back to the 1900s. God. I don't know. Yeah. Hey Jude's gonna Google it, y'all. 1900s. Oh Lord, help us. I'm not doing that. I'm not about that life. I'm not doing that. I'm just not. I don't care. It really doesn't matter. To me, I do care, but I do care about what Trent's saying. And is there a connection? Is, this guy has, one of the highest averages. He's well connected there. Does he know the owner? I'm picking up that. I'm picking up on that. Not so much what Craddock's family tree looks like. Back to the old Craddocks. Although, our friend Elisa P was in here last night, and she was talking about, Chris's hat, and how, there's symbolism in that clover, right? And so I found that to be very interesting. Again, that piques my interest more than finding out Craddock's greats, right? Oh no, I know the Tylenol KJ Mac. Well, I'm here to tell you, I have not gotten into that debate. I haven't even researched that. I don't know about the Tylenol thing. I don't know what to think of that. I don't know. I found something about that and Googled it. Not sure how it's related. Haven't had time to do more research. That's me, Brenda. That's me all day. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, Lori. Thank you so much, Lori, for being here. And thank you. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, guys. Hopefully, if you don't like it, you get a thumbs down it, I guess. Or stay neutral. I guess people do that too. I do that a lot of times. I won't thumbs down something unless I really don't like it. Then I thumbs it down. But yeah, I don't watch Julie anymore. I don't. I hope for all the best for Spencer. I really like Spencer. He's a cutie pie, right? Al makes me laugh. He does make me laugh. But I haven't watched. I haven't watched. I just hope for the best for Spencer. And Scranton says Lady Snug Struggle has the universal look of grief, which the experts cannot cannot be faked. Could he know more than he's saying? Well, I mean, he does look like he's grieving, Scranton. I do think that's a good point. Like his eyebrows are down. I'll show an example. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second. Because I know what you're talking about. He has like that look on his face. Now, I mean, it does seem concerning. Maybe he seems concerned. Um, but his brows are furrowed. He does have a lot of facial expressions now that I'm looking through. Um, hold on, I'll add this to the stage so you guys can see because I'm sitting here laughing and I'm like, it's just where I stopped his face on. And I mean, people could do that to me too, so I'm not being hateful or anything. I just think it's funny. It'd be funny if people did it to me too. All right, so but let's see. Like, here's where he's first being interviewed. I mean, this one, I don't know what to think about this one. This one, but his brows are furrowed, and I know what you're saying. It's almost like he he does look concerned. Some of it is a deer in the headlights, snug struck. Hey, Jude. His eyes, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Um, I'm so glad you caught a live. I know it's so hard to catch the lives, especially, because like I was saying earlier, I love being in the chat. I really do. Or I like just watching the chat, looking at what people have to say. Um, and it's hard to catch them. So I'm glad you're here too. Hey, Sasha, good to see you. Aw, thank you, Carla. I enjoy it. I really do enjoy coming up with you guys. Like when I don't get to during the day now, I'm like missing it. Same thing if I don't go at night. So it's like I really enjoy being here with you guys too. So thank you. I didn't find Sheriff Joe. But yeah, I mean his facial expressions, Craddock has a lot of facial expressions, right? There's one that's funny. Um, Now this one, I don't know where this one came from. See, that could be taken out of context. I mean, he looks kind of aggressive and vicious here. But I don't know. I think he was just answering a question. I feel bad for Al too. Hey, Jude. Sorry, I'm bouncing back between subjects. That's funny though. I do too. Poor Al. He does make me laugh though. He does make me laugh. Sometimes if he's cooking or something, I'll go watch. I can't lie, I do watch that. But I don't get into the drama, right? Like I'd rather watch something funny like that and cute. Um or I know she sometimes there's stuff that Spencer's doing and if she posts that, that's nice. I'd rather watch something like that any day than, the back and forth and the weirdness and real life debauchery. Um, you know, I think it was to be seen on camera as well. Sandwich, I think I missed your comment up here. To go bowling for 10 minutes. Well, and then they said that they said they went bowling, right? And they said that they tried to go, but the leagues were playing, so they couldn't bowl or it was full, right? They couldn't bowl either way. And so they decided to play the arcade games. Now, I did look up the little kiosk um at the Texas Roadhouse. There's like a little point of sale system, and it was something that was rolled out by the Texas Roadhouse a couple of years ago. They were bigger devices to begin with, and they didn't want them on the table, so they decided to wait on it. And they said, and I did some research last night on that subject. So I'm glad you guys brought it up too. Again, thank you, Sandwich, because I forgot to say it earlier. So at the Texas Roadhouse in the footage, Sebastian, when they get to the table, he points to this device, right? And it is a kiosk where you can pay, you can play games on it and different things. And I'm assuming that he wanted to play a game, and he asked Katie, like he points to it and says, something, or just points to it and asking if he can play with it, and she says no. The odd the thing that's odd, because we were going back and forth about, does it cost some money, or do you have to pay to play the games? It's like $1.99 to $2.99 is the research that I found on that, where and it's unlimited games then that he could have played, but instead she made him sit there and not do anything. No phone. He didn't have a phone or anything. I think that's really shitty. And $2, even if they had to pay the measly $2, like I don't understand it. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, in my opinion, especially seeing how he had to be bummed out about not going bowling, and she said she was going to take him bowling. And I've still not found any evidence if there was anything like league or anything that day. It didn't look like there was leagues at that time. So maybe it was just busy. I don't know. Hey, Sandy. Given it's giving just for men the just for men black jet black. He's got very expressive eyebrows. He does. He does. Trooper's mom says that my father, a 70-year citizen of Hendersonville, is rolling in his grave with this goofy person running our sheriff's department. Facts. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be so maddening. And that's why I think that people are absolutely upset about the way that he's handling things and that he has handled things. I bet. Thank you, Trooper's mom, for explaining that, because I don't like even sitting up here and saying, well, the whole town is so bad. I don't ever want to say that, because I know there are such good people there, and it's terrible. It's terrible. And it's got to be like a disgrace or whatever. And I don't, uh, I don't even have the right words for it. Because he is awful, in my opinion. Not a good sheriff. Sandy says, so a question, can we maybe get the billboards again with updated quotes? We can do blip billboards anytime. I would just have to figure out how to do it. Because what it is you pay to do the billboards. You just pay for the time, on the scroll. I think the most effective one would be somewhere in the town, but I don't know if they have blip billboards there. I think that would be the very most effective, just like our friend Jana did in Crystal McCrory Jones's case, right? She paid to have a billboard put right outside the sheriff's department, right there in town, where they have to drive past it all the time and see it. That's what's effective. That's how you get things done. I'm always so proud of Jana. She was in our chat the other night. I'm just always in awe of her dedication and everything that she has done. Hey, me and you, good to see you. So I'm hoping they'll do an age progression too. I think that's at the 2-year mark. I'm hoping we don't have to get there. You know, and it's even sad that we have to think about, these events, like Bullhorn Betty is putting on an event in February. And I still need to make a flyer for that and get it over, and, make sure it's all nice and everything. And so I can post it. But she's looking to do that, and it's just so hard to think about it being the 2-year mark. I honestly, and I've said this before, I honestly thought we were going to find Sebastian. I really did. I thought they would. I shouldn't even say I think we would. I didn't think it would get to the point where we would have to step in and go over these interviews and, with comb over them, as Katie would say. I didn't think we would get to this point. I thought he would be found, really, especially, when you get the initial story, and this is why it's really important for us to go back. When we get the initial story about Sebastian, it's like he was barefoot, right? He left barefoot. We listened to the interview. Um, we watched the news footage from the first 7 days. We saw, all of the efforts that were put forth, and they brag about it, all the resources that were, in my opinion, wasted, right? Just completely wasted. And we see them saying Sebastian left, with black pants. A black sweatsuit is what was originally reported. What was originally reported is Sebastian left with a black sweatsuit on, right? Sweatpants and a sweatshirt, his glasses, barefoot. That's what the news told us for 7 days straight, until Chris and Katie went onto Duchess for the Missings podcast and talked a little bit more and gave us a little bit more details about what happened, right? Right? And Chris never tells us that there was a white stripe down the side. Chris never tells us that Katie never tells us, rather, that it was a long sleeve black shirt, right? That the news got it wrong. No, they waited to do that until they got on Smiley Stories panel, right? Because they wanted everybody to feel stupid, right? We have the information, you don't. You guys don't know what you're talking about. You have a bunch of misinformation you're spreading. Bullshit. You're the one that told that to the news in the first 7 days. You had to have. Right? And then we find out he has a keychain flashlight. You know? Oh, yes. So KJ Max says, oh, interesting. You have to pay for the games, and it isn't the story that they went to the bowling alley and left without playing any games. Exactly. And that's the thing. So who cares? She would have spent way more money on the games at the Strike and Spare to play the arcade games, right? Or the games where you win prizes, than she would have if she wanted to let him play the game. At the most, it would have costed $2.99. It's between $1.99 and $2.99, and that is according to the website. And I know for a fact it used to be free. Now, these particular POS kiosks, right? Point of sale, it's not piece of shit, it's a point of sale system, is why they're called a POS, and they're used widely throughout the restaurant industry. If you work at a restaurant these days that doesn't have a POS, you probably should get a better job at one that does, right? If you're still writing out tickets by hand, I feel for you, because that's where I started. But no, everything's digital, right? And especially at a place like Texas Roadhouse. Look, they decided between this system. At first it was too big for the table. They came out with a newer model. It was smaller, and we see that device sitting on the table. It's a black device when they get there, right? And then you choose to play, and it's $1.99 for unlimited games. You don't get recurring charges or anything like that. Right? And you have to choose to play the game. If you touch the machine, it's not going to automatically charge your card. That's not how it works. It's added to your bill at the end. And I agree. If, it's bull crap, that they left without playing any games at all. And she wouldn't let him play the game. And not only that, he wasn't allowed to have his cell phone, right? He didn't have his Switch with him. No, he didn't. She made sure it was as stressful as possible. It was an awful situation, in my opinion. the TBI wants us to believe that they had this great, wonderful day. And so did Katie, because that's the narrative that she pushed. Oh, we hadn't even been fighting. It would have made more sense if we were fighting, but we weren't even fighting. He wasn't in trouble. He wasn't in trouble that day. Well, how often is this little boy in trouble, Katie? How often is he in trouble? There, I'll be really tiny in the corner. I didn't go anywhere, guys. I'm still here, just really teeny tiny in the corner. Lady is in timeout. Okay, so, but look, we have the TBI coming out and saying, "Oh, this is the happy day that they had. Look at the family. They're sitting on the same side together. They're so close." That's a mom and a son, just a close relationship between them, right? But what really happened and what the reality of the situation actually was is right before our eyes. And this is why they didn't want to show us this footage of Sebastian, right? Because typically in a missing child's case, you try to get the public's awareness up, you try to get people involved, right? Hey, Patty Lee. Good to see you guys. Hey, Chuchi. Welcome in, everyone. Thank you for being here. Hey, Deborah. Nice to see you all. Thank you for being here. And I'm behind in chat, I know. But I think it's important that we're making sure that we keep Sebastian's name out there. We must keep his name out there. We cannot forget him. Hey, Shelly. We cannot forget him. Because this is not right. This crap that we're being spoon-fed by the TBI is not right. It's pathetic, is what it is, right? The TBI wants us to think that Katie is just this beautiful mother with this cutest little boy here, and they're just so happy at dinner. Yay! But the reality is Katie was obviously saying a lot to Sebastian, and it made him feel a certain type of way. Look at the child sitting at the table with his head down. Disgusting, Katie. What happened at the bowling alley that you don't want us to know about, Katie? And you know what's even more sick than Katie? Is that the Sumner County Sheriff's Office put a "Have you seen me" sign over a missing child's bruises on his neck. They took the picture from the TBI and then they put their logo on it, took the background out, right? And put a "Have you seen me" logo on it. They covered up Sebastian's bruises. Intentionally, in my opinion. Where's the justice in that? Where is the justice? There is none. You're not doing your job properly. You're embarrassing the citizens who live there. The entire meal looked melancholy at the Texas Roadhouse. Zero fun or joy, no laughter, smiles, or jokes. Nothing. No laughter, smiles, or jokes. She didn't allow for him to play with the game, even though he was disappointed earlier in the evening because their plans didn't go as according to what they wanted them to. That's how life works, right? But for a child who is on the spectrum, that can be devastating. And you still didn't let him play the game, Katie. $1.99, $2.99. You would have spent at least $50 at least to play at the arcade like you said you did. But wait, you only stayed there for 10 minutes, didn't you? So anybody that wants to say that, oh, well, what about it costs money? Too bad. That's what they want you to think, and that's what they want you to believe. That's the narrative that they're pushing out. What the reality of the situation is that Sebastian was obviously being punished at the Texas Roadhouse and couldn't play with the game. It wasn't about the money for her. She doesn't care. She's wearing a friggin' iWatch, for crying out loud. You know? Flash that money around, Katie. Flash that money around. But don't let your son play with the kiosk, play a game on there. Don't let him have his phone. Make it as uncomfortable as possible for him. That's disgraceful. Brenda says she discounted the past 3 months of fighting between her husband and Sebastian. In my opinion, there were plenty of reasons for him to run, but the lights video and 3 a.m. car proves otherwise, in my opinion. Well said, Brenda. Well said. And that's it. That's the whole meat and potatoes on why we believe that Sebastian did not leave on his own. Did he have reasons to leave on his own? Absolutely. Absolutely, he did. He had more reasons to run than not. But I don't believe he did, because if he did, we would have saw him escaping out of his window, right? Because the Ring doorbell camera faced that way. We would have saw him walking out that door. I don't know why he walked out the door, she says. I don't know why he, and then she says, I don't know why he walked out the door. No, he didn't. He didn't walk out the door, because we would have saw him. And he can't lock the window, right? He can't go through the window, Katie. So there's no evidence that he left on his own. So why were you pushing that narrative? She knows. She knows. And I agree. The 3 a.m. video, the car, the activity in the neighborhood all points to that. Someone coming from the house, someone coming from the house and then going back, right? And then only one person was there in the morning. It's very easy. Yeah, this would never have been the video would never have been a big deal if they didn't make it one. Well, I think people would have noticed it, Sandy. I do. I really do. Katie knew how she treated her son. Very dismissively. She knew exactly what happened at the table. We don't. That's the thing. We can only look at this footage. We can't even see the mean faces that she's making at him, but we know from her hand gestures that she's not telling him something nice. Right? The one, she has her palm up in the air with her elbow on the table. Why? Right? That could be one reason why somebody would make that hand gesture. Why? Right? Because as human beings, we all use gestures. That's why sign language, American Sign Language, could really be a universal language that everybody could understand without taking even a whole bunch of classes, right? Because some of the motions and the hand gestures indicate exactly what the person is trying to say. Exactly what they're trying to say. And when you're deaf, you don't understand when someone's telling you, so the language that you learn is on your own, and you pick up on things because your other senses are heightened. Right? So in this case, it's exactly that. We have no sound, right? Unless one of the creators puts music behind it, which I know I've done that. Hindsight, has done that as well. And we watch, we look, we pick up on these hand gestures. We pick up on the emotion Sebastian has in the middle picture. Head down, picking his nails. The next slide is biting his nails. It's not having fun. He was disappointed earlier in the day. He's still behaving himself, but you will not allow for him to play the games. And you lied about you staying and playing arcade games because you were only at the bowling alley for 10 minutes, is what's being alleged. And it's absolutely disgusting to me. It is, me and you. It is. It grosses me out. You know, it really does. It grosses me out. KP literally gave him down the road for the last 10 minutes at the roadhouse. So heartbreaking. Well, and you know, she makes him stand there waiting by the door handle as well. You know, not letting him in right away. This is a really good point here. KJ Max says, plus who takes a picture of your child looking dejected, even if it's of the unfinished plate of food that she said she was to show he ate all of his salad. Yeah, she said that she sent that picture over to Chris, you know, because he ate all of his food, right? His salad. And she's like sneaking pictures, and Sebastian's not looking happy about it, right? Usually, if you're sending someone a picture like that, proud, right? Maybe it was something that Sebastian didn't want to order. I don't know. It's all very strange. I don't know how she just goes on either. She's living her best life, me and you. She is. Patty Lee says that wasn't a home, it was a house of horrors, and that poor child had to live in that house. I agree. I agree. You know, and she couldn't let him play the game. She didn't even let him like touch or look at the system or anything. And like I said, unlimited games for $1.99, guys. $1.99 to $2.99 is what they said on their website. And I almost signed up for a free demo for the darn thing. But then they wanted my personal information, like I was a restaurateur and I'm not. So I was like, ugh, you know, but it's like, seriously, she could have let him play the game, but she's a heartless monster. His eyes. I agree. She could have let him play the game. She could have let him have another role, you know, and they love to torture. They love to torture, in my opinion, Carla. I agree. Hey, Nisa Marie. Nisa Marie says, Katie, 2 hours missing on your timeline. Where did you go? it's it's been turned in allegedly. And you know, I want to see the whole day's events. You know, I wish. I wish. Me and you says there's a lady on TikTok and she solved 3 cases and said she feels Sebastian is in uh a vein underground. What's a vein underground? Am I saying that wrong? Um yeah, she sent it to CP. It's so disgusting. It's so disgusting. And who the hell is he? The food police? You know? What the hell? That's so disgusting. It is. It is gross to even think about. Like, I don't even know how that would be because I didn't have a step parent. But I could imagine I would have been like a little shithead rebel if some dude was trying to tell me what to do. It wasn't my dad. I would have been a little shithead rebel, that's for sure. What grosses me out more is how highly CP and KP think of themselves. Oh yeah, Shelley, that is equally disgusting. In my opinion, equally disgusting, and I think it really speaks to um, the grandiose narcissism that's on display that we're all seeing. You know, and they think that we want to talk to them like they're movie stars or something. No, we want to find Sebastian. Me and you says that they took Sebastian's door off. You know, Seth was in chat the one night and said that they had taken the doorknob out of the door, you know, like where there was a hole where the doorknob would have been, but I didn't hear about the door being taken off, me and you. Patty Lee says, Katie, where is Sebastian? Chris is stuck with you forever now. I hope he treats you the same way he treated Sebastian. Karma's a bitch. I don't think she's treated good by him. We watched him say things to her that were so rude. Oh, you're horrible at music. I'm the best. Yeah, okay. right? He's a jerk. I think the dynamic there. Look, he wasn't coming home. He wasn't coming home when Sebastian was with Seth. He wasn't coming home, right? He was staying out. He was hitting on the waitresses at the bar or whatever, you know? Which by the way, that's like, every man that comes in there. Like those girls are not serious about anything besides, they might like talk to you, but they want a better tip. That. I mean, it is what it is. They don't really think you're cute, Chris. They're dealing with you because it's their job to deal with you until they get the clock out. Right? Cinderella, good to see you. He's a mama's boy. He thinks he's God's gift to everybody. Like, oh yeah, I have all these girls, Katie. I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna go hang out, with these girls. It's like, okay. It reminds me of the South Park episode where Butters goes to Hooters and he thinks he's got a girlfriend. That one of the waitresses is his girlfriend, right? Oh, poor little Butters. He's cute though. He's not like Chris, but I'm just saying, like you think that those girls are interested, but they're not. They're just trying to get a better tip, right? Oh boy. Tina Girl says they are lucky Sebastian was a well-behaved child, but yet they think he was a bad kid. He was so well-behaved. He really, really was so well-behaved, and it breaks my heart to see him getting broken down like this, just completely broken down. Carla says, me and you, that too. I seen a case in another country. This man had an 8-year-old held for 5 years underground sonar in a plane with heat sensitive, found it. Interesting. Are you guys talking about like an underground, like where he is, um, like in a bunker? Is that what you guys are talking about? Because I mean, I've definitely thought about that too, especially because it's been said that, someone's husband builds those. They haven't released it yet. No, Nisi Marie. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they haven't. If they were just standing at the counter for 10 minutes, I'm sure it's not going to be, you know, um a whole lot to look at, but I want to know the time. I don't even care if we see the, I mean, unless there's something in the video. Now, I heard that maybe there was something that did happen in the video. Um, but without us seeing it, I don't even care to speculate really. But what's important to me is the time. If they were only there for 10 minutes, right? Because Katie literally lied about it. She's like, "Oh yeah, then we couldn't play game, so or we couldn't bowl, so we played games, And then in one of the interviews, she said strike and spare because snacks, because 15 and snacks. I'm so sick of that shit. It makes me sick. It's not even funny to me anymore. I used to think it was funny, and I'm sure I'll probably chuckle at it, here and there, but it's almost not even funny to me anymore. Because he's 15 and snacks and games and arcades and bowling because 15 and snacks. It's bullshit. It's so tiring. You know? It's a tired ass act. Shelley says they are vile humans. In my opinion, every dog has their day. Boomerang. Well said, Shelley. I agree. I agree. And karma is a bitch, and it does come around like a boomerang. It does. Troopers and Iris's mom says CP could play at the bar, but Sebastian couldn't play a game. Absolutely disgusting. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and like I said, it's not like she dropped a couple $100 playing games over there at the arcade like she said she did, right? And they have a full um menu over there. Like, they have some really good looking food right there at the Strike and Spare. So, I mean, I just think it's so mean. Just any child, right? Because children, it's hard for them to understand. And now Sebastian's older, but I'm just saying it's hard for kids to understand when something doesn't go as planned, right? It's a bummer. It's disappointing. It's the same for an adult, but we know how to handle it better, right? But some kids would melt down, or they'd be like, I really wanted to bowl. I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to play the arcade. I don't want to do anything. I wanted to bowl, and so it can be, you know, um it can be a change of plans, and then it can also be traumatizing, in a way for children who are on the spectrum. It's not going to affect them the rest of their life, but in the moment, there's a meltdown, there's a trauma that's there, that they're very upset. Sometimes they're uncontrollably upset, right? And so in that way, and also Sebastian was out all day, guys, overstimulated, um probably getting tired, right? um so gross. I pray every day too, Carla. I'm praying with you that we have a break in this. Yep, he sure did. Sandwich says, remember Chris's coworker said he was going to pick up and just move on or something like that. Yeah, and he was trying to give him a new start, right, Sandwich? And it's kind of odd that timing was there, right? And then the ultimatums were there. And then all of a sudden Sebastian went missing, right? Because Katie was probably thinking, oh shit, I'm going to lose Chris, right? Not thinking about her son. Oh shit, I'm going to lose Chris. I mean, gross, really disgusting. Sasha, Sasha says overcompensation because he's really dot 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 dot. Oh, a tunnel? A tunnel, Kiki? You think his hat stands for some evil? Interesting. See, I'll show you guys the hat. I heard it was Masonic. Blah, blah, blah. Am I saying that right? Mason. It wouldn't be Masonic. No. Masonic. Something to do with the Masons. I can't talk today. Sasha Johnson says, hence all of the grease, and it wasn't statements by Nina, said the girl was, remember that lady. Um, I remember Nina saying about, yeah, about the girl. Well, and there was so much in Nina's. Nina's was so difficult to listen to. I would love to. I know. I feel you, Shelly. I feel you. Hey, Detroit Rock City. Good to see you. Aw, got 3 yards of dirt delivered today and filling in the front where we had 5 huge overgrown bushes pulled out, dirty but listening. Oh, Detroit Rock City. I hope that's fun for you. I know some people like to garden. I know I don't like to get dirty. Like, I like potting the plants and stuff. Like, I like having them, but then I'm like, when I'm trying to put it together, and um yeah, because some people like getting in the dirt and stuff, and I'm not, but I love having plants and stuff. um that's so cool. Thanks for being here, Detroit. The motel, are you talking about the Motel 6, Sandy? I know there was people that did a deep dive into that. Sandwich says, so Katie wanted to have a day filled with fun. Her and her son, yet she is hasty. The way she parked, throwing of the menu, and then she effed up bowling day, no game kiosk. What the fuck? Well, I know. It's so odd. It's just not. Um, because you would think too, like, okay, if she's trying to be seen on camera, right, then she's gonna be like, oh, haha, happy, happy, right? You would think, but like she just showed her whole ass, and I'm like, what? How are you gonna show your whole ass? And then yeah, like she should have let him play the game and everything because people would have said, "Oh, look, he's playing the game, he's having fun." That day was not fun. Going to pick up the niece, right? Going to that other lady's house. The whole thing was weird. The whole thing. But yeah, everybody was saying about this hat that it was a golf, which Magic Star sent me something last night, and it was the hat, and it's you can buy it Putz Golf or Putz Golf, Puetz Golf, right? And it's Cleveland um, Black Clover Perfect Luck fitted hat, Black Clover Live Lucky, right? Live Lucky with Black Clover is the hat that Chris is wearing. From what I can see here, it even has the green Live Lucky. But we were hearing that that is a symbol, a Masonic symbol, and that Chris's affiliations run pretty deep there. And so, you know, symbols are important, guys. I got into all of that a while back. I would say probably in my mid 20s, where I was just reading a lot of books on symbolisms, Freemasons, all of the elite societies, right? The upper echelon, all of that. Very interesting. Very interesting to read and understand. And we also know that there are elite groups, there are secretive groups, right? And it's interesting to dive into those sort of areas because people are affiliated, and with those affiliations comes favors and a very dark and twisted, in my opinion, affiliations, right? If you do something for someone, or they have dirt on you, it's used, right? And SI officer was also talking about bribery being, um, a big elephant in the room, so to speak, right? In this case, where there could have been, situations where people knew too much or people had dirt on other people and they're using that to the advantage. Um, I love snacks. I love snacks in general, Trent. I have to like try not to eat as many snacks because I do like snacks. Um, it's always nice. Hey, Kentucky for Life, good to see you. Never seen this as a symbol affiliated with the Freemasons before. Um, Yeah, so I have not looked into it, but I do know that Stars sent me like the exact hat that we're in the hat in question. So I do know that for a fact that you can get it on that website that I mentioned. And I didn't do a deep dive into like exact um specifics, so to speak. But she found the hat, and it's an exact match. We did forensics. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's the hat. It's the hat. The hat. The hat. Trent likes snacks, says me and you. um, been crafting but listening. Thanks for being here, Kelly. Good to have you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to this landfill search, right? So I want to just pull in this clip about the landfill search, and we're going to kind of put it into order. I'm probably going to show these clips again, but I really did want to discuss some of this as well with you all because we were talking about it, and I haven't gotten the micro expressions done yet. I'll be doing that for tonight's show. So let me just go ahead and stop this. Whoops, add this in. And this is going to be the landfill search here. Right. And let me go ahead and go back here. This is going to be on March 8th, 2024. March 8th, 2024. They're covering the landfill search in the Sebastian Rogers case. So let me go ahead and I don't know why it makes my screen so small when I do that. Okay, there we go. I wanted to see it too. And here we go.
Law enforcement is searching high and low, even in the Kentucky landfill, for clues that can help bring Sebastian Rogers home.
We have been following this story since day one. The 15-year-old was last seen nearly 2 weeks ago in the area of the Stafford Court in Hendersonville. News Channel 5's Kelsey Gibbs has the latest on this investigation.
We're going on now 2 weeks and still no sighting of 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. His mother reported him missing around 8 a.m. Monday, February 26th. And since then, there's been a massive search effort on the ground and in the air. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office is asking everyone in the area near Beach High School to meticulously review footage from security and trail cameras. They want you to really focus on the time frame from the afternoon of Sunday, February 25th through that Monday morning. Even the smallest detail could be the key to locating Sebastian. Yesterday, we had Sky 5 flying over a landfill in Kentucky as investigators with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office searched for any clues. This is where trash from the missing teen's neighborhood went. Officials say the search was a precautionary measure to eliminate possible options and questions. But today, officials say no leads or evidence pertaining to Sebastian's whereabouts were found during the search. This is despite the extensive search conducted by trained personnel, including the use of canines. In an update of the investigation, Sumner County Sheriff Sonny Weatherford is quoted saying, "While we had hoped for a different outcome, our commitment to finding Sebastian remains unwavering. We will continue to explore all available avenues and resources to bring closure to this case and provide answers to Sebastian's family and loved ones." Now, if you spot something on your cameras that can help, this is what you need to do. You can send footage to the Sumner County Camera Registry and then followed by an email or phone call to the Sheriff's Office, and someone there will retrieve the information. We have all the information on how to do that on newschannel5.com. Kelsey Gibbs, News Channel 5.
Kelsey, thank you. The Sumner County mayor is telling us there is a $3,000 reward from an anonymous donor for information that can help locate Sebastian. We, of course, will let you know if.
Okay, guys. So yeah, there we have it. So the landfill search was done. Let me pull up a picture of that. And Sonny Weatherford was still, with us. But this is where, and Carla, you had said about, and there's the Nashville fire, Gallatin fire fighters out there. We can see that. So they apparently were searching the landfill according to the local news, and I think they got it wrong, because they do have the arms that pick up the trash, but they were saying it was because the trash was heavier than normal. But they took it to this Kentucky landfill. The dumpsters that were in the construction zone were not taken to the same landfill, to the best of my knowledge, right? So Sasha says, remember the boy they found at the cemetery? How many children are missing from the route to Nashville from Gallatin and Hendersonville? I'm curious. Yeah. And it is interesting. It's interesting to say the least. And I mean, I just don't believe that this was a precautionary search. I know that they said that, I know that's what they wanted us to believe, but they've said a lot of things and they haven't been truthful at all. You know, even Sumner County taking the TBI photo and hiding the bruises on Sebastian, right? Because they zoomed in on that photo, um, you know, and then people noticed the bruising, and some people noticed it before they zoomed in, right? They zoomed in for themselves. But then for the Sumner County Sheriff's Office to put their logo and a big "Have you seen me" in black over his bruises is beyond me and beyond my understanding. Except for, you know, it just leads me to believe that there's some major corruption, in my opinion. But they were searching. Well, people have searched the cemetery a bunch of times. The one that's right near Sebastian's home. The Hatfields went out there and did the same thing. You know. Well, they met Duchess for the missing in her podcast interview with the Proudfoots. She mentions the 300, or excuse me, the $3,000 reward offered by anonymous business owners, and it's also mentioned a couple of times in the news clip. Cinderella, it is. And it was anonymously given, and we've never heard anything about it since. Um, it hasn't been added to any type of, you know, anything really. So, I mean, I kind of think it's probably a hoax. And I've actually heard that it was, and that wasn't true. But yet we hear it in the mainstream media. So it's hard. You know, as we were talking about earlier, Carla says they don't do precautionary searches. They have to get a warrant to search, which needs probable cause. Well, and I think they were given permission by JD McMurtry Disposal, or whoever has the landfill. I don't know that there was an actual, because I know we had talked about it several times, and it was, you know, being talked about even on Jennifer Kaffendaffer about the probable cause warrant. Was there one issued? Was there one requested? A warrant, that is, and we still don't know. The sheriff died of a fall during a conference that they were at, Sandy. I don't remember there being a boy found at the landfill. I don't. I don't. Carla says they must have a warrant, or they have to have a warrant, or for anything they find, or it can't be used in court. Yeah, and I'm not sure. Um, I'm just not sure about that. You know. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I would have to. I would have to respectfully disagree. Um, No, nobody's. I don't think anybody has them hidden at a homesteading thing or anything. I don't. No, no, I don't. Especially with so much exposure and everything like that. I just don't think that that's a strong possibility. I don't. But what I do think is that we need to keep spreading awareness, and we need to keep on going over these interviews, because it's just so important for us to really bring awareness, because they haven't been, in terms of telling the correct details of the story. They haven't been doing anything like that, you know, and it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. No, no, I haven't heard anything about the cemetery at all, Sasha, about them finding another little boy there. I haven't heard that, you know, so I have not heard about that. Yeah, that's what people were saying too, Carla, about the underground room, like a bunker type of a thing. Which, I mean, obviously nothing's off the table, but I'm about 80% positive with Sebastian being either taken on the way home from the Texas Roadhouse or the Lights video. I don't see why they would draw attention with the Lights video to their house, especially because they've never wanted attention on their house, So Nisa Marie says we need to do some research on Lori. In my opinion, if she was there that weekend, they need her timeline, and if she met up with KP that weekend, in my opinion. Yeah, I heard they were together that weekend, and she was there, very quickly. And in my opinion, from where she lives in Illinois to get to Tennessee as fast as she did, she would need a teleportation device, and she showed up in her Volkswagen Tiguan. Right. So she was allegedly there that weekend along with her son. Um, you know, Anne says you're going to be surprised when they find him. He's right up under your nose. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think that they took him somewhere out of the house that night. Um, I do. So, you know, that's what I think. Um, Have a wonderful evening, Lori. I know I'm hopping off here too. I'm hopping off here too because I'll be back up tonight for the late show. So I'll see you guys um later on tonight. But I really wanted to kind of go over some of these things, just kind of especially the initial statements made by Ken Widener and Sheriff Craddock, or while he was Deputy Eric Craddock back then. And so just really interesting to go over it and continue to keep going over these details, right? It's very important, and we absolutely have to be diligent. Yeah, see you tonight, Carla. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wild Wolf, hey, Wild Wolf says, in my opinion, CP was there the night that Sebastian went missing, and he told us so many times. Yeah, he's told us plenty of times, right? And we're going to hear him do it over and over again. But like I said, I really want to stick with this interview with Holly Thompson, since we're able to actually see the proud feet and their body language. There were some things that I wanted to catch up with, so, you know, that's, important. But, you know, um, I do think that the facts of the case and what we know about it is definitely pointing in a direction to where something nefarious happened. Thank you, Panda Bear's mom. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Um, Snacks work for long road trips as well. They do. They do, Trent. That's true. Well, and I was thinking, why did they buy all the snacks, right? Because I think they were going to be like hauled up in the house for a while. Was one thing that I was thinking, but it could have been also to send away as well. You know, you're welcome, me and you. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you guys all for being here. I really appreciate you guys. And, let's keep thinking. Let's keep trying to figure out what could have happened. You know, let's absolutely keep the conversation going, because that's the only way that we can truly figure out what's going on, is if we dissect and um yeah, we just really need to dive in to these things, because knowing what we know now, we're going to have a totally different perspective. And he hasn't been found yet. Thank you, Cinderella. Thank you so much. I do try to bring you guys the best possible content that I can. So I appreciate you guys recognizing that, and always being here to be supportive. You guys are amazing. And I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys. Well, you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you tonight.